This is why you can't trust the media. This is why they have currently the lowest trust score ever in recorded history. It's insanity. Former Dragon Age writer says Clair Obscur Expedition 33 and Baldur's Gate 3 prove what's possible when a game is given time to cook. Obviously, this statement is completely stupid, considering Dragon Age Veilgaurd had literally 10 years to cook in the oven, and no one even knows was it overburnt or undercooked at this point. We can't even know that, honestly. And that was more time than Clair Obscur or Baldur's Gate 3. So this statement is full of nonsense. And the best part is, by the way, this is PC Gamer. I have read this article. I considered doing a video on it, and then I saw this video on it. And this is them, PC Gamer themselves, quoting their own article. And you know what's the best part? Former Dragon Age writer. This guy did not write on Veilgaurd. He just says Veilgaurd is a good game, which is pretty stupid. But he's not a Dragon Age Veilgaurd writer. He had no contributions towards Dragon Age the Veilgaurd, which is hilarious.
Journalists in May 2025 are still trying to defend Dragon Age the Veilgaurd. Look at this. PC Gamer says, former Dragon Age writer says Clair Obscur Expedition 33 and Baldur's Gate 3 prove what's possible when a game is given time to cook. And I guess like one of the things to say in the article, we'll take a look, is Veilgaurd, which was well received by players. What? The attempts.
Yeah, this is my favorite line. Veilgaurd, and all of the news outlets, all of the shills are saying, "Oh, Veilgaurd was really well received by players. Players loved it." There's literally almost no positive coverage of Veilgaurd on the internet from anyone but news journalists.
To rewrite history is freaking crazy. Christina Tasty says, mixed on Steam and still dropping months later after the drama is over. 3.9 on Metacritic. You can't gaslight people who can use Google, PC Gamer.
Based.
Huh? The frick are they on about? Dragon Age had 9 freaking years. It's about priorities and focus. Expedition 33 started production in 2019. How long did they spend making Veilgaurd again? 10 years? 11 years?
I think it was
Development time has nothing to do with it, and you know it, BioWare. You ignored the wishes of the general public that would have gladly bought your game, but DEI politics was more important to you than making a memorable game. You made your...
This is so true. Keep in mind, Dragon Age as a franchise is something that's kind of expected to sell 20 million copies in like 5 years. We don't even know if Dragon Age Veilgaurd has honestly sold 1 million real copies at this point. We don't know. And if it has, if a miracle has happened, it's probably not selling 2 at the end of the year. It's probably not selling even 2 million copies at the end of 3 years. It's a complete flop.
Your bed, now sleep in it. No amount of time would have saved Dragon Age Veilgaurd. It's about having passionate devs and good leadership, and no DEI. Something these people never want to admit. Oh, it's just chuds blaming DEI. That's not really happening. Yeah, okay, right. So we're going to take a look at that article, but first let me also show you this headline from yesterday. That's the 24th, right? What's today? Oh, it's actually from today. Even better. Dragon Age, the Veilgaurd star, absolutely devastated over backlash, says people wanted to see BioWare fail. It's an idiotic stance to take. What? Hey, this corrupt sellout company deserves what they got. Oh, that's so idiotic.
By the way, this is how powerful the effect of eyes is. Look at this. You see that right there? This is perfect dark. You can already say, you can already tell that this is screaming manager now. For no reason, by the way.
Idiotic. How dare you? She's like actually mad too. We'll get to her statement. Like she's freaking like says that people who wanted Veilgaurd to fail are like terrible people. It's freaking weird stuff going on here, man.
Obviously.
And like I said before, during the Veilgaurd arc, I used to like BioWare. Like they made some great games back in the day. Like actually very, very good games. But they ended up going the direction that so many of these gaming companies have in the AAA space specifically. And that is a direction where they just end up selling out and making a bunch of slop, and then they get criticized rightfully for that slop, and or people just don't buy it, and they see low sales, maybe they get layoffs, Regardless, they're definitely getting criticism, and then they get all mad over it.
Yeah, this mentality is pure insanity, by the way. You are selling a product to customers. Customers are saying product bad, and the response of the people who make the product is to say, "No, you're stupid for not liking our product." Yeah, that's really that's an insane position to take. Completely self-destructive. And a lot of companies have that opinion, which is even worse.
And they try and deflect and lash out, and it's just the most pathetic stuff. You know what's even more pathetic? Look at this. They say Dragon Age star Alex Wilton Regan. Dragon Age star? Imagine being referred to as a Dragon Age star. Like, hey, you're the star of a terrible game. Like, congratulations. Dragon Age star Alex Wilton Regan has given her personal response to the backlash faced by last year's Dragon Age Veilgaurd, and blamed the mixed reactions on people who wanted to see the game fail or wanted to see BioWare fail. The actor who plays the female Inquisitor in both Dragon Age Inquisition and Dragon Age the Veilguard told IGN that she was absolutely devastated to see BioWare's latest game fail. To find
Wait. She just plays a female Inquisitor and that's it, and she's the Dragon Age star? Damn, we're handing out these titles like candy. Can I be referred to as God IGN? Like, please?
a larger audience.
Or am I not feminine enough? Listen, I'm a black female, if you did not notice, by the way. I'm the most special one that there is.
Mostly positive review scores from
Also, that seems extremely likely to be true considering I did work for the government.
critics. Speaking during a new interview discussing her many iconic video game characters to date, as well as her role in Microsoft's upcoming Perfect Dark reboot, Wilton Regan said she had loved her time as BioWare's Inquisitor, though did not believe the character would now return. I feel absolutely devastated for BioWare as a studio that they got such mixed reactions to the game. I personally thought it was a really strong.
Well, at least she says mixed, but this is still a lie. There was nothing mixed about this, okay? People were firm. People understood. And people said what they think.
Game. I thought it was just BioWare being more BioWare. How could you actually think that? It doesn't even make sense. Like, BioWare had created some great games in the past. What do you mean this is BioWare being more BioWare? I guess maybe like
no.
Here's maybe what that means. Oh, it was current year BioWare being more current year BioWare, perhaps. I also think a lot of people kind of wanted to see it fail, or wanted to see BioWare fail, either because they're just really bad people on the internet, of which there are unfortunately many, as we have discovered. Wanting to see BioWare fail.
It's crazy, these people with their logic, okay? She sounds like the type of person who is not gonna really hesitate to say, oh, you just want the game to fail because there's a female lead in it. Well, you know, that's kind of part of the problem, but what about this other game that literally came out 3 months ago that had only a female lead, and we all absolutely loved it? Their rhetoric about these things is so disingenuous and stupid that I think everyone just knows it. Oh, you don't like this because this has like gay romance in it. Other games have had that and people have loved them. Female lead. Other games, again, they just can't accept the fact that they're wrong and they're bad at their job.
Or Veilgaurd fail. Makes you a really bad person. Nah, not really. Because the AAA space has been making this sort of terrible slop. And
you know who is a really bad person because Veilgaurd failed? The people who made Veilgaurd. They're really bad people for making Veilgaurd fail. That's the reality.
Trying to charge us a bunch of money for these terrible products for far too long. Now they're getting their comeuppance, and there's nothing wrong with wanting these slop games to fail.
True.
It probably would lead to the industry getting better and a better experience for gamers. Like, don't blame us because you guys willingly decided to sell out to corporate ESG politics and DI policies. Then that doesn't work out for you, and you get rightful criticism for it. And then you try and play victim. Oh, it's just really bad people who are criticizing us for that and not wanting us to succeed when we're a bunch of sellouts, a bunch of corporate losers. Continuing, they say, at launch, the Veilgaurd was review bombed online. Criticism
Eh.
of the game being woke centered on its inclusion of a non binary companion character and the ability for the player to choose to be.
Are you kidding me? Okay, this is such a mischaracterization what the game does for being woke. Bro, bro, you literally have to establish your trans identity in the game in the first 30 minutes of the game forcefully without any chance to not do it. You literally are forced to establish your trans identity and then deal with all the identity politics of every one of your companions. And all of them are gay. Bro, what do you mean? Quotes woke, bro. Okay, this should be a capital W woke with 50 e's at the end. Okay, that's how woke this is. Not this.
Transgender. On Steam, Dragon Age the Veilguard now sits with a mixed player response, with user-defined tags for the game describing it under LGBTQ plus and politics labels.
Bro.
Are they actually pressed about that? I mean, like, that's not even like inaccurate though. Like, they went out of their way to make LGBTQ plus stuff a centerpiece for the game, including on their main marketing material and promotional material for the game. And then you got journalists here like getting pressed about that label being on the Steam tag. Although I will say the politics label is debatable. Perhaps that one shouldn't be there, but the other one definitely applies. Continuing, they say, Wilton Regan continued. People were attacking the game before it was released. It's ridiculous. How can you judge a game, a book, a film, a TV show before it's actually released?
I mean, if you have brain cells, you kind of can. We live in an age where you're supposed to judge a book by its cover, and it's gonna be 99 times out of 100 correct. And the one time you are wrong, it's not really gonna matter. And if you're a normal person, you can just admit, hey, I was wrong. Okay? Like, for example, my recent mistake was Clair Obscur Expedition 33. When I saw the game, I said, this is not going to be anything spectacular. This is going to be pretty mediocre, probably. Not really good, but not really that bad. Turns out it was great. I was wrong. There you have it. But again, from what I saw initially, I would probably make the if my memory got erased, I would say the same thing exactly over again. It would happen because from what I saw, it kind of looked midish, but it turned out to be great. See, it doesn't matter that one time out of 100 when you're wrong, because some magically how the cover of the book wasn't accurate. It doesn't matter even.
You can't. It's an idiotic stance to take. While there was plenty of context to judge the game on and form an opinion on it before it was released, actually, and there's plenty of things you can judge about a product before it's released. For example, something that's really obvious is like the price point.
Pattern recognition, baby. All of these people who say you can't, they just have no pattern recognition, okay? They look at 2 plus 2, they take out their calculator, they hit 2 plus 2, they get 4, they write in 4. You know what happens then? They see another 2 plus 2. You know what they do? They take out their calculator and hit 2 plus 2 again and write 4. Because they can't recognize the pattern that 2 plus 2 is always going to be 4.
Regardless, this is kind of deflection because even when the game released, people were.
And also, listen, the fact that you're bad at pattern recognition is literally not my problem. You're just proving segregationists have a point.
Criticizing the whole thing, including people who bought and played the game, to which they left plenty of very nuanced negative reviews for the game. But you're not going to acknowledge that stuff, right? That doesn't fit the argument they're trying to present here, of course. What else they got? In January, publisher EA said Dragon Age the Veilguard had underperformed versus its expectations by around 50%.
This is such a lie, by the way. Dragon Age Veilguard was most likely anticipated to sell at least 10 million copies. By like, I don't know, by like month 2 or 3 or something like that. Okay, in the first year. It was probably expected to sell like 4 million copies first month. We're talking, again, the worst part about the Dragon Age Veilguard the bonanza is the fact that we're talking about a franchise that, again, has easily the potential to have to make a game and get to 20 million sales over a couple of years. And Dragon Age Veilgaurd somehow was made to not even breach 2 million sales. It's insanity.
It's so bad. Just days after, game director Corinne Bush confirmed she was leaving the company. Meanwhile, other BioWare staff who worked on the game were laid off. Oh yeah, that was great too, because the statement Corinne made when leaving BioWare was something like, "I'm so proud of the work we accomplished on Veilgaurd, and I know that
Believes.
BioWare is going to be on the right path once again." It's paraphrased, but it was something like that. And then almost immediately, it's like, actually,
Corinne Bush, by the way, if you did not know, is a man.
we're laying off a significant chunk of BioWare staff. In the same month, BioWare signaled it had released its final update for Veilgaurd with no further content announced or expected. "I only ever want to see the folks from BioWare thrive because I adore them," Wilton Regan concluded. "And whatever they go on to do next, I have no doubt their talents will be richly rewarded. We're really lucky. We'll get more gold from them in the future." Oh my gosh. So tone deaf. It's just like delusions, man. Corporate PR speak delusions. So yeah, that was the IGN article. Let me know what you guys think about that one. And then
It was horrible, obviously. The PC Gamer article though is kind of bad, but a lot of people don't. A lot of people didn't read it. It's just the Dragon Age writer who didn't even touch Veilguard. He had no impact on it. Said that he just said the stupid sentence that, "Oh yeah, Veilguard could have been good if it was allowed to cook," which is retarded. But again, he's not a Dragon Age writer. But this article, this headline, does its utmost darkness to make you believe through uses of deceptive language to make you believe that it's a Dragon Age Veilguard writer that does this. Well, says this. Anyway, that was Hero Hey. Nice.